Hi, I'm Michael Caney, today here in Hollister, California, and I'm sitting here in this beautiful home with Ottilla May Carl. Thank you for having me, Ottilla. Why are we here today, and what are we trying to discuss in this story?
I'm glad that you're here, Michael, and we're here to say what has to be said, what needs to be said, that Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., Wells Fargo Mortgage, is trying to take away my beautiful home.
What made you decide to move out here to California?
I actually lived most of my adult life in Greater Washington, D.C., and my husband and I owned a beautiful home in McLean, Virginia, which is a suburb of Washington, D.C. After his death, which took place in November of 2001, I decided, along with my son, that it would be a good move for me to leave McLean, Virginia, and come to California and build a home together with him so that I could be closer to my only son. We had talked about actually building a custom home, which is what both of us did, ultimately. And it was something that we had talked about, and I had been working with an architect earlier in another project. So he was the one who actually, after I purchased two pieces of land here, adjacent to one another, that I worked with an architect in Virginia who did the basic planning of the home that we are living in now, or that I am living in.
Okay. How much money did your son invest, and then how much money did you invest?
I invested all cash, all of the money that I had available to me, and that was some $2.4 million. My son, in a verbal agreement, said that he would invest $1 million of his money in the home, and it was agreed to that I would be a 2/3 owner and he would be a 1/3 owner when the construction had been finished.
Tell me, now this loan that your son got on for his $1 million, were you anywhere a signer on that loan?
I was never a part of the loan. Only my son and his wife, Rodka, were signatories on the loan. They were the ones who negotiated this loan with Wells Fargo. I had nothing at all to do with this.
Why is Wells Fargo trying to claim this house as property of the loan when you know we're signed on this loan?
Because it was determined, or they determined, that they would put a lien on this property. And in order for my son to get his $1 million loan from Wells Fargo, we were told, and the title company made it very clear, that we would have to change the deeds from the way they read, which was my being a 2/3 owner of the property and my son and his wife a 1/3 owner, to a 50-50 ownership. And then after he was finished with all of the documents connected with actually getting the loan from Wells Fargo, they, the title company, would go back and retitle everything and have it re-registered here in San Benito County as going back to my 2/3 ownership as opposed to my son and his wife a 1/3 ownership.
Now, is that legal?
It is not legal. It is patently illegal. It was predatory. I was told that I had no choice. In order for my son to get his loan, this would have to be done.
So why did you act when they were you pressured, or did they lean on emotional reasons, or why did you allow them to mislead you?
First, I must say that we were under time constraint. This document had to be signed that day because my son had put down a $10,000 hold or amount of money that he had given to Wells Fargo to hold the percentage rate, etc. And that was the day before this would not have been any longer available.
And you felt comfortable that a professional representative of the title company was not going to mislead you or to do anything that was possibly immoral or unethical or even perhaps against the law.
Precisely. I felt that these were professional people who obviously should know what they were doing.
And so do you feel that the title company should almost be responsible for the circumstances that have arise from this? Or is it something that Wells Fargo put upon the title company and then in true is something that they brought upon themselves?
I believe that Wells Fargo was dictating the terms. However, the title company should have known that this is something that they were not allowed to do. It's my understanding that a title company is supposed to be absolutely neutral in all of their dealings with their clients.
So bringing it back is, how does that make you feel that potentially your dream home, the thing that you plan on spending your remaining years in, you know, and getting to celebrate and enjoy life, are now spending your time and hours dealing with this situation? How does that make you feel?
I have been very, very upset by everything that has transpired after my son and his wife defaulted on their payments to Wells Fargo on this loan. And that is when I hired an attorney in San Jose to represent me and to work with me and Wells Fargo to see if we could resolve all of this. My attorney told me that under the circumstances, in order to keep Wells Fargo from foreclosing on this property, that he would advise me to pay for the arrears, pay for the payments that had not been made by my son, to keep Wells Fargo from proceeding with foreclosure. As we speak, I have paid, between my attorney and the defaulted monies that Wells Fargo demanded, $80,000.
And that's a lot to try and keep your home from being foreclosed on, isn't it?
Precisely.
And
it's a lot of money for a senior citizen.
And how much of a burden is that on you?
Tremendous.
And I can only assume how much stress that's added in your life.
Stress. It has been extremely stressful. And except for the help of this wonderful attorney, I don't know that I would be here speaking with you today.
So what is it your hopes that the judge sees?
I would like for the judge who will be officiating to, having looked at all of the evidence and having heard all of the evidence on both sides, to say that what Wells Fargo did was predatory, unjust, illegal, and say, Wells Fargo, you have to make amends to this woman. Yes, Mike, I want you to have a look at the background here. We are in an area of California that is still pristine, untouched, and extremely beautiful. And building this home in this specific area was really the fulfillment of a dream for me. So if we look at the surrounding mountains, we have a gorgeous view from almost 360 degrees around. And I think the house itself fits into the lot almost perfectly. It is so beautiful. I spent all of the money that I had available to me from our life savings building this home, and now Wells Fargo is about to take it away from me.
Well, Tommy, I really appreciate your time today and you explaining this story in further detail for us. And I do wish you all the best with this situation that you're in.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate your coming.
Thank you.